Hi, my name's Lee and welcome to the channel. You're joining me on this carp angling session. It's a carp fishery that I've never been to before. The carp fishery I'm at is Wyreside Carp Fishery and Campsite. Currently go pay my money in there, have a look around the lake, see if I can find a peg that I fancy, settle into for the 72 hours that I'm here. Definitely not the most pleasant day for walking around a venue that you've never been to before. And I don't really know where I want to set up. The first couple of pegs I want to check out are pegs 19 and 20, what they call a point swim. Now, it is a double swim, and I don't really fancy bivvying up on this one and having somebody pop in next to me a day later. What would you do in this situation? Would you take a chance on setting up here and nobody moving in next to you, or would you give it a complete miss? I think on this occasion, I'll skip it. And besides, I think it's a bit early to commit to a peg just yet. But the wind is smashing down into peg 17 and 18, and that makes sense to me. But getting round to 17 and 18, well, yeah, that's a bit of a walk. This is peg 17, open water just in front of the island, and peg 16 and 15 really close together. I'm actually chuffed it stopped raining, at least for a bit anyway. It looks like it's going to start again. Do I fish down this end up to the island? Islands are always a good shout. Put one in the middle, one on the left, one on the right hand side of it. I don't know. Let's carry on walking around. Pegs 1 to 9 on Sunny Lake 2 are on what they call the road bank, and you can actually park your car behind each of those pegs, which I think is absolutely brilliant. And it looks like there's plenty space to park your car, put your bivvy up, leaving you loads of room to still cast your rods out. Now, pegs 1 to 9 are pretty close together, but that's not too bad if you're coming out with a group of your mates and you're interested in having a bit of a social while you try and catch a few carp. Okay, so Sunny 2. I've just walked from peg 1 around to the point 19 and 20, and further around to peg 18, 17 and 16. Now the wind is smashing across the lake this way, so I don't know whether I should fish in peg 1 because I can put the car right in the peg and you've got the deepest water in this section here, with this little shallow section that you can cast to, make a nice little feature on there maybe. Or do I go round into peg 18 and I've got the options of the margin, some shallow water and some deep water just in front of me. I say deep water, 7 foot. Average depth of the lake is 10 foot. So yeah, let's see. I don't know. Still undecided. This is the view of the lake from peg 9, and as you can see, yeah, it's a lovely looking lake. Not sure how big it is, I'll have to find out. One of the most important things in carp fishing is definitely location. Location is key to catching. There's a few more pegs for me to take a look at, pegs 10 to 14, so I'm going to carry on walking around the lake. I suppose the thing about being at a venue that you've never been to before is you're going on the information that you see on Facebook, social media, and I know peg 17 chucks out fish, the point chucks out fish, peg 5, peg 9, but the wind is smashing down into peg 18, and I fancy peg 18, but I'm just having a look at some of the other pegs before I commit. Okay. A lot calmer down in peg 11. Peg 11, yeah. A lot calmer down in peg 11. This is on the back of that wind. Open water. In front of peg 10, 11 and 12, it's about 9 to 10 foot deep, and it plateaus up into about 7 foot. I think I'll keep walking. I'll Okay, so this is the last peg, peg 14, and like I said, the wind is smashing down into this corner of peg 14 and down into that corner, peg 18. Now it's a bit of a walk from over there to there with the barra, because I don't think it can. Oh, close to this peg, so looks like I might be using the barra at least a couple of times. But the wind is definitely howling. Woo! Let's get things sorted and pick a peg. Still not sure. Got a little bit wet setting up, but it's okay. Got plenty spare clothes with me. I am set up in peg 18. This is peg 18. Got lovely bit of open water and a margin just down here and down there. It's looking nice. So let's get the marker rod out and see if I can find some spots.
"48 minutes later."
Okay, so I found 3 spots and I'm really happy with them. The left rod is fishing on a silty gravel spot, the middle rod is on a hard gravel spot, and the right hand side rod is what I would say sitting in a little bit of silt. But I've got a rig that I can use for all of those spots. So let's take a look at the rig I'm using on this session. I'm going to use the same rig for all 3 spots, and that rig I'm going to tie would be the German rig. I'm going to tie 2 German rigs with the end trap soft coated braid, and another rig, the 3rd rig, with the end trap semi-stiff coated braid. Now the reason for this is the end trap soft coated braid I'm going to use on the silty gravel spot and the silt spot, and the end trap semi-stiff I'm going to use on the hard gravel spots. The one thing that's staying the same is I'm going to use a size 6 straight point hook with a kicker, a little bait screw, a hook bead and an anti-tangle sleeve. So let me show you how I tie the German rig. First of all, peel off about 9 inches of the end trap soft and snip it with the scissors. Then strip back 2 to 3 inches of the coated braid section. Using a size 6 straight point hook, thread the braid through the front of the eye, whipping down the shank of the hook about 6 times. This will form a knotless knot. Thread the braid through the back of the eye to finish the knot off. Take your kicker and thread it onto the braid, sliding it down over the eye of the hook. Pushing the kicker down so it just covers the knotless knot, like so. Then snip off the tag end and add the bait screw onto the hook. Add on the little bait stop. Now I don't know why these things are so fiddly. Sometimes it takes me longer to get this on than it does tie the entire rig. Anyway, done. Slide on the anti-tangle sleeve over the coated braid section, then tie a figure of 8 loop knot at the desired length you want the rig. On this particular session, I want the hook link to be about 7 inches long, but you can tie them at whatever length you like. The choice is up to you. I find it best to use 2 rig puller tools to tighten down the knots. Trim off the tag end and then slide down the anti-tangle sleeve. And for the hook bait, I'm using a Bug dumbbell wafter. Add the hook bait of your choice onto the bait screw, tighten it down till it gets to the little ring swivel. That's the German rig nearly done. And because it's a coated braid, you want to steam it down over the kettle. That'll make sure it's perfectly straight and you're done. I've tied up a couple of German rigs. This one's using a bit of shrink tubing instead of a kicker. Another way to tie this rig is using a wide gape long shank hook, and again with a little bit of shrink tubing. You can use several hooks for the German rig. I tend to use a long shank with a wide gape. And that's how I tie the German rig, and it has caught me a lot of carp over the last month, and hopefully it catches me a few carp on this session as well. Okay, so a few hours have passed by now and look at it. Would you believe it? It's a nice dry sunny sky. I got up at 5 o'clock this morning and it was absolutely smashing it down when I was driving down the M6. I was doing about 55 mile an hour most of the way here because I could just about see. And of course, the darker mornings are creeping back in again, which doesn't make it any better. But I have got all of these rods out. I haven't had any action on them yet, no bleeps, nothing like that. But I have seen a couple of carp show round about there. It was only about 14 or 15 pound, just poked his head out, plop, and then went back in again. I haven't changed the tactics. I'm not going to be changing any rigs just yet. With it being my first session at Wyreside, I have no idea what rigs work the best or even any spots. I've had a good lead around, found them. That's where I think I'm going to get a bite from. So time will tell. But at the moment, just going to sit back and enjoy taking in the scenery at a venue that I've never been before. It's actually really nice. Today has gone absolutely flying by, super fast. I can't believe it's gone dark already. It's now 10:30. I think I'm going to give it about another half an hour and then I'm going to lie down, try and get some sleep. Hopefully I'll get woken up by one of them rods going off. Well, that's the first night done at Wyreside Fisheries. Recast the rods. It's about 10:30 last night and then flaked out at about 11 o'clock. Yeah, not a lot to say really. Nothing really happened through the night. I did hear a couple of carp showing, boshing out in front of peg 14 and 15, which is to my right that way. Other than that, no, nothing going on. Today's a new day. Let's get them rods recast. It's now 12 o'clock and get some more bait in and see what today brings. You never know. Winner. Rod's just gone off. Hooked into my first carp. But yes, we're gonna have to put the phone down while we wind down and get this one, hopefully, in the net. And there we go. First Sunny Lake 2 carp in the net. Not a monster, but it is a carp from a lake I've never fished before. Result. There we go. First Sunny Lake 2 carp. Not bad. Just over 12.5 pounds. There are carp in here that go way over 30 pounds. So this one is definitely a baby by those standards. But first carp for me from a new venue, I'm happy. 12.5 pounds. Taking on the left rod, by the way. Let's get this one back. Hopefully this is a start and more to come. And the rain's moved back in again, but good news, just seen a carp show in between the gap in between the trees on the far margin. Now my rod is probably about 2 rod lengths to the right of that gap just before the overhang on the tree. So carp are down this end. That's a good sign going into the evening. Yeah, might get a run. That's looking good. No more bait going in for now. Just gonna sit back and see what happens, because sometimes you can do too much. There's plenty bait out there for a meet, and obviously the carp are mooching around, so I wouldn't want to put a spom out or any more bait and spook them out of the area. It's been such a long time since I sat outside. Had a nice rump steak, baby potatoes, mushrooms and carrots. Absolutely sometimes it's not all about catching carp. Just enjoying yourself. Great. It's tough. And this is why you should always look in your cup before you start having a drink or whatever's in your cup. Yeah, daddy long legs, man. Yeah, that was a nice warm cup of tea as well. Guess I'll have to make another now. Just making myself a cup of tea, getting ready for the day, and the left rod's gone off again. This time it's an absolute banging common. Lovely, dark, big fat common. Get in there. Can't wait to take this one out, have a look. Heart was definitely pumping when that rod went off. Definitely looks like a 20-pounder. Let's get it out, get it weighed. Happy days. Not a bad weight there. 22 pound, is that? $21.8. Now then, this is one of the most beautiful commons I think I've ever caught. Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Take a look at that. £21.8. Absolutely stunning colours. Chuff get this one. I think he's a bit of a chunky gunky. Take a look at the other side though. Nice, real result. Real result. Lovely Sunny Lake 2 carp, and I mean lovely. Probably the nicest common I think I've ever caught. Really happy with that result. £21.8 and a 12.5 pounder, both taken on the left rod. Now I do find it strange that the left rod is the first spot I found with the marker rod. Now sometimes it can be a coincidence that the first spot you find can be the best spot. Not always the case though. It's been about an hour since I had that carp and I've moved the right hand side rod. I've seen plenty carp showing just underneath that tree there. So I've recast the right side rod at 17 wraps and it's landed on what I would call a hard spot. So that'll do. I've put about 6 or 7 spawns of boilies over the top of it. And the boilies that I'm putting out in the spawn are the Bug 12mm boilies by DNA Baits. So again, it's just a case of sitting back, playing the waiting game, see what happens. If you're enjoying the video, I've got a lot of things planned for Committed to Carp, future videos. Going to get myself a couple of winter tickets. I'm undecided where yet. I'm definitely going to get one for Norton Disney. I have enjoyed fishing over there through the summer. It's been entertaining to say the least. Caught a few carp as well. If you haven't seen those videos, pop over to the channel and check them out. And yes, I'm actually contemplating on getting a winter ticket for here as well. does look like a really nice venue. There's several lakes to choose from on the winter ticket, not just Sunny Lake 2. You have got the choice of a couple of other lakes as well, and it has value for money. So upcoming videos, I think you can look forward to a few sessions back down here, and definitely a couple of winter sessions over at Norton Disney. A very fast update for you. It's been raining now for about the last hour and a half. 20 minutes ago I had a run on my middle rod, a very slow bite, just tick, 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 and then drop back, tick, 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 hit into it, and yes, there was a carp on. While I was playing that carp, Oliver popped round, say hello, and have a quick chat. Oliver was just about to stick the net underneath that carp I was playing, then the right hand side rod went off, so yes, I had a double take. Oliver hit into that one, but 30 seconds later, the hook pulled. I was just about to get the landing net underneath the carp, get it in the net, and then the hook pulled on the one that I was playing. So yeah, I've had a double take and managed to lose them both. Anyway, I've got the rods back out on those spots. The middle rod is at 10 wraps and the right hand side rod is at 17 wraps towards far margin. I'll put some more bait out over them spots and hopefully I haven't ruined my chances going into the rest of the night. Fine now. Making it right. A mess of this now on here. Just making it right mess of it all. It's late and I'm happy catch a carp, but this one wiped out my other two rods. £23. Job's good. Middle rod again. Lovely. He's a lively character. Quite happy with the results. Good session, considering my first visit to the venue. Let's get back. Well, what a mad bit of action that was. Biggest carp of the session so far, £23. But while I was landing that, it wiped out my middle rod and my right rod. I've got all three rods back out onto the spots now, but it's coming up to 1 AM. So I think I'm going to get my head down because I'm going to be getting up again at 6 o'clock. Okay, first light, and yes, it's been raining hard all night. Not a very pleasant night. I'm soaking wet. The reason for that is at 2 o'clock this morning I had another run on my right hand side rod. Had it on for about 5 to 10 minutes, but then the hook pulled, absolutely gutting, and I was left stood there with my rod in my hand like an absolute chump. Got the rod back out onto the spot and just dove onto the bed chair for a couple of hours. That is the end of the session. I've had 6 runs in total and landed 3 carp, the biggest one being £23, which is a bit of a result because I've never fished this venue before. I hope that you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please give us a thumbs up. It shows that you've enjoyed the video and your support is really appreciated. Thanks for watching my first visit to Sunny Lake 2 at Wyreside, Carp Fishery and Campsite. I'll catch you next time.